Hey guys, so yesterday, or this weekend basically, Crystal Maiden 77, who's one of the, I would consider one of the more opinionated reviewers of the Sonic comics, fans, original, or not fans, but fans and official and stuff like that. She finally started to review the fan comic called a Sly Encounter. And a Sly Encounter, I think I've talked about this before, is a fan comic crossover done by Game Boy Sage and a few other friends of theirs in collaboration. Now, what a Sly Encounter is about is it's supposed to be Game Boy Sage, GBS, we'll call them GBS for short, and their friends in interpretation of what happens after Sally sacrifices herself to save the planet from global robotization, thus turning her into Mecha Sally, as a result, at the end of issue 230, the official Archie comic. And the way they explain it is that instead of roboticizing herself, to save the planet, that all of a sudden this blue Chaos Emerald comes out of nowhere, and this is the same Chaos Emerald that was apparently thrown into obscurity or something like that. I think after the first, I guess, Ultimate Annihilator deal or something like that, or after that encounter with Adam, who had taken control of Tommy Turtle's body or something. Anyway, this Emerald basically is the reason why Sally did not get roboticized, but instead caused the roboticizer to transform into a roboticized version of herself. I know, sounds a little confusing, right? But to GBS and their colleagues, it makes a lot more sense than, Sally being completely roboticized, for 30-something, almost 30-something, 40, who knows how many issues, basically almost 2 years worth of story. They felt it made more sense that instead this blue Chaos Emerald caused her to be saved, but it also caused the roboticizer to basically change itself into a roboticized version of, what she would be as Mecha Sally. So, long story short, what it also does is it sends her through a portal into another universe. And that universe is the world of Sly Cooper and Carmelita Fox. Sly Cooper and Carmelita Fox. Carmelita Fox, yeah, Sly Cooper, Carmelita Fox. It sends her into that world, and it's here where later on in the story, after Sly encounters her, saves her, brings her back to his place to rest up and everything, and gives her a change of clothes. It's here where she notices in a mirror that all of a sudden her physique, her stature, if you will, in physique is completely different. She notices she's a little taller, she's more curvier, and everything. Basically, she realizes that whatever world she's in, her body has adjusted to it, has, accumulated and adjusted to the new world and the new world and style of being that she's now a part of, basically. But long story short, what this Sly Encounter crossover is basically, like I said, GBS, Game Boy Sage, and their colleagues' interpretation of what happened after the Mecha Sally deal. Like, basically, they're adding in details of, okay, Sally didn't get roboticized because of this blue emerald, but it caused the roboticizer to turn into a mechanized version of what she would have been, and in the process, it sent her into the universe of Sly Cooper and Carmelita Fox, Carmelita Fox. And not only has changed her physique physically and everything, but it's also allowing her to see these psychic dream visions of what's going on in the other world. Thus keeping that connection with what would have been her fate, as Mecha Sally. So it's keeping that connection between, her world and where she's at right now. So she can, when she's resting and sleeping, she sees what's going on. She views and sees what's happening, and there's nothing she could really do about it right now because she's in this other world, and she needs the Chaos Emerald that she brought along with her, that basically saved her from being roboticized. She needs to get that back to get back to her world. And an end result of that is not only does she go back to her world, but some kind of Genesis wave-like event takes place. And not only does she go back to her world, but Carmelita Fox and Sly Cooper go back with her. And they end up, just like Sally, having their physical stature changed as well to suit more of the world they end up in, as a result. Now, I'm not going to say any more, just in case a lot of you haven't seen it yet. It is a long webcomic that, Game Boy Sage, GBS, and their colleagues have been working on for the past several years. In fact, I think they started working on this a little after, believe it or not, a little after the Mecha Sally thing started to happen. I think maybe around that time, if not, I'll put it this way: the time frame as to when they began was almost a decade ago. Well, it feels like almost a decade ago, because it feels like it began after Sally became Mecha Sally, but also around the time we got the soft retcon and reboot. So that's basically what a Sly Encounter is for anybody like Crystal Maiden 77 or anybody else that's reading the comic for the first time, maybe wanting to review it. That's what essentially it's about. It's basically having Sally in another world, having this psychic vision connection with her world because of the Blue Chaos Emerald, and because of the proximity she was in, suffering the fate that the roboticizer turned itself into, which is a mechanized version of herself. So basically, like I said, long story short, it's kind of like putting her in another world to where she'll have these visions, but now her main goal in Sly's world is to get back to her world, at any opportunity she has. So again, I'm not going to give much away. I'm just going off by what I've read so far. It's a good comic. It's a good original fan comic idea that I really suggest that when you get the time to really read through, and and start really, like I said, I was just checking what my dog was doing there. But like I said, really just read through and kind of give it a shot. Give it a chance, and you might be surprised about what you get out of it. Because as we enter back into Sonic's world, as she gets back into Sonic's world with Sly and Carmelita, at her side, there are things that happen that we wanted to see happen, or some kind of result happening that will occur. And there are some things that do stay true to what we had in the comic, the official comic. But again, I just thought I'd let you know about it. And also Crystal Maiden 77, hopefully that helped you out to kind of understand exactly what it's about, why it's going in this directive, why this is all happening, why Game Boy Sage, GBS, and the colleagues decided to take this, directive, go this route. And that's about it. But so let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Also, check out the Teespring store. Also, check me out at BW Rosa's discussions on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also, check me out at BW Roses on Vimeo. Check the Patreon.com at BW Roses to help support there, as well as at Vimeo if you want to help donate there too. So until next time, guys, take care, God bless, and hopefully for all of you and you, Crystal Maiden 77, this helped clear things up as best as they could be on what this is all about, what this Sly Encounter Crossover is about, and I will talk to y'all later.